Hi guys, welcome back to Katie Cooked What. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make these super easy and super delicious enchiladas, so just stay tuned. I wanted to include this variations slide in today's video just because I thought it might be helpful for people. So other than the cheese, this recipe is vegan, so you would just have to swap it out for a vegan one or just omit it. It's also a meat-free recipe, so if you want meat, I think ground beef, chicken, or sausage would be really good. The veggies are super versatile. You can basically just add anything you want to, but I do really like what I use personally. And then for cheese, I mean, it's cheese. You can basically just use whatever you want, but matzo is my favorite to use. So quick ingredient overview, I have my tortillas, I have a can of black beans, I have a bag of corn and jalapeno peppers. It's mostly corn, and I just like buying it frozen because I'm never going to use a full can of corn, so I just like using it that way. I have a zucchini, white onion, about 3/4 of a red pepper, a jar of red enchilada sauce. You can make this from scratch as well if you want, but this is just so much faster and so much easier, and honestly, that stuff's really good. And then for cheese, I have this cheese from a vegan company in British Columbia that I ordered from. I did end up adding mozz at the end just because I wasn't sure how that stuff was going to melt, but yeah, that's everything that you need. So first you're just going to want to heat your pan up. I did mine on 3, so about low medium heat is what I would suggest. And then you're just going to want to add a little bit of olive oil into the pan and let that heat up. First I'm starting with my onion, and I ended up using about 1/4 of this, and I just diced it up relatively fine. And as soon as that's cut up, you can go ahead and add it into your frying pan. And I'm just stirring it around to make sure everything cooks evenly and so that all the onion pieces are coated in olive oil. Next, I'm moving on to the garlic. So I have 2 cloves here, and I just diced it up relatively fine. So just keep on cutting until it gets nice and tiny like this. And then if your onions have been cooking for a few minutes, you can go ahead and add your garlic in. You don't want to add it too soon because the acidity of the onions, if they're raw, can sometimes make the garlic turn kind of this bluish green color. Next, I'm moving on to the red pepper, so I'm just dicing this up, same as I did with the onion. And adding to the frying pan when you're done. I did my black beans next, so I'm just rinsing them off in the sink here because you really should rinse off your black beans, and you just need to rinse them off until the water runs clear through the bottom, so we're good to go. And then just adding those right into the mixture with everything else. I also went ahead and added in my corn. And then I'm moving on to the zucchini. I always do zucchini last because I don't like when it gets mushy, so I just want it to have the least amount of cooking time than the other vegetables. But I just sliced this into 4 pieces, and I'm just going to dice it up like that. And then once I've added my zucchini to the pan, I just went ahead and added some seasoning to it. So I did salt and a little bit of pepper, and I also used some chili powder. And then I'm just going to let that all cook for a few more minutes, get everything mixed in together, and you'll be ready to go. So moving on to actually assembling your enchiladas, first I'm just going to pour a bit of enchilada sauce into a glass baking dish and just spread that around. This will just help the enchiladas not stick. Honestly, these are super easy to assemble. All you need to do is just pour a little bit of the mixture, however much you want, into your wrap, and then you're going to top it with whatever kind of cheese you decided to use, or no cheese if that is your decision, and then you're just going to wrap them up and put them into that baking dish. Also, just a quick side note, make sure you save some of your cheese so that you can put it on top of all the enchiladas at the end. So once you have them all, however many you're making, in your glass dish, you're going to go ahead and pour the rest of the enchilada sauce over top, or however much you want. I ended up using the full jar because I really like these saucy, but if you want a little bit less, that's totally up to you. And then you can just spread that around a little bit. I honestly really like leaving the ends of the tortillas a little bit uncovered because they get nice and crispy in the oven, and I just really like the contrast. But again, that's up to you. If you don't want them to crisp up, just cover them in enchilada sauce and you'll be good to go. And then I'm adding the rest of that vegan cheese on top, but I decided to add some mozza because I wasn't really sure how that cheese was going to melt, and just for presentation's sake, I felt like it didn't look that good. So yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of mozza on top so that it looks a little bit nicer and melts good. Then I ran out to the garden and I decided to add some green onion just for color. I would really recommend cilantro for this. If you have it, parsley would be good too. Cilantro would definitely be my #1. But the green onions were really good, and they do just help add a little bit of color to the dish so it looks, I don't know, just a little bit more fancy. Then you can go ahead and bake them at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes or until the cheese looks melted and kind of crispy like this, and this is what you should be left with. Okay, so now for a quick cost per serving breakdown. So I haven't done one of these in a while, so if you haven't seen them or you don't know what I'm doing, I'll just explain it really quick. So the way that I figure these out is I look at my receipts from the groceries that I bought for the recipes, and then I approximate however much I used, and I always overestimate because I just always overestimate the prices so that it doesn't seem like it's actually cheaper than it is. So for example, tortillas, I bought them in a 10-pack and they were $3.70, but I only used 4 of them, so at 37 cents a piece times 4, that would be $1.48. So all comes down to about $2.59 per serving, and that was for like 1 enchilada each, so if you ate 2, it would obviously be more, but not too shabby. I also want to include quick that these prices are based off of Calgary, Alberta pricing because that's where I live personally. Obviously, this will fluctuate. I try to include taxes with these prices, but I mean, yeah, depending on where you live, I obviously know that prices can change, but this is what it looks like for me. And that is it for today's video, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you make it at home. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come check out my other social medias. They're always linked in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!